Don't start a startup. No, I'm not saying this. Some people usually say it because starting up is really risky and uncertain. They are afraid of risk and uncertainty. They fear failure. Then there's another type of person you will meet. The over-enthusiastic ones who think it's something fancy and very easy. They are attracted by the cool factor and believe it's the fastest way to become rich. But you don't have to be like these two types of people, and you don't have to listen to them either. The wisdom lies somewhere between these two schools of thought. This video is on how to start a startup. But here's the thing, it's almost impossible for anyone to give a definite path that guarantees success. There's no exact how that will work every time. But here's the catch. Even if we cannot find the perfect formula, there are peripheral things we can keep in mind or follow when starting a startup. Think of them as basic principles to take care of while building your business. Now the first thing you might say is, I don't have any idea as of now. You wait for the idea, thinking you need a revolutionary idea to build a great startup, but let me give you some context. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg was the first person to have the idea of social media platform? No. There was a big social media company called MySpace that was famous at that time and had millions of users. Yet today, Facebook is the biggest social media company. The same goes for Apple. Apple was not the first company to build a mobile phone, but today, it's the biggest mobile phone company. So the crux is, it's not about the idea. There won't be a single eureka moment. An idea becomes world-changing and revolutionary once you start working on it, refining it, and spending time with it. It's a creative process. And one more thing, just because the idea itself isn't everything doesn't mean you ignore it. Your idea still matters. It should be viable, useful, and provide real value to your prospects. Think of your idea with these parameters in mind. But now you might ask, how do we come up with an idea? Like everything else, there's no specific answer. But if we go to the fundamentals, we can ask ourselves, what is it that I enjoy doing or I am truly interested in? But that alone isn't enough. You also need to ask, can I provide value to other people with this interest? Can it solve their problems or take them from 1 to 10 in anything? If you can answer these questions positively, then you can pursue that idea. And if you genuinely enjoy something, you will be able to work on it for a long time even when you don't see immediate results. After finalizing an idea, you can start researching the market. We have made a dedicated detailed video on market research before starting a business, which you can also watch after this video. While researching, look at which companies and brands are already operating in that space. Observe how they do business, how they serve their customers, and the types of products they offer in terms of quality, pricing, and the customer segments. Ask yourself, can you tweak any process or product to add more value? You will also need to figure out a business model, how you will earn revenue, and your way of charging money during this research phase. In this process, try to find a gap in the market. Even if it's a small gap, identifying it will help you enter the market strategically. For example, other brands might serve only high-end customers with expensive products. Some might lack variety in their offerings. Others might not provide customization or other missing pieces that could complete the market puzzle. Once you find a gap and enter the market, start there. Along the way, you will discover more opportunities to enhance your offering and eventually build a sustainable business around it. The next thing you can do is start building a team. And remember, this is one of the most important steps when starting a startup. Initially, a strong team is even more important than the idea itself. Because as the saying goes, a mediocre team with a great idea leads to failure, but a great team, even with a normal idea, can change it to unimaginable heights. So it's crucial to build your initial team. Maybe you have a friend or someone who shares your interest and with whom you are comfortable working. And if you can't find the right people, don't worry. You can start alone. As you move forward, people will naturally join you. But if you do have people to start with, it's like a cherry on the cake. It makes things easier. The risk is divided among the founding team partners. You can move faster in executing ideas. Most importantly, you will have someone to discuss everything with, every aspect of the business. Remember, discussions solve most problems. Team brainstorming is magical. So if possible, build a team, share your idea and brainstorm with them. Ideas get refined through multiple perspectives, and that refinement can make the difference between success and failure. The next thing you need to do is planning. You have to make a plan for how you will execute and define the end-to-end process. If you are selling product, where will you source them from? If you are manufacturing, where will you get raw materials? What type of machinery or setup will be required? If you are setting up a service business, what skills will you need? Will you need a team to provide the service? Or do you already have the skills to start yourself? You also need a plan for how to move forward. The chronology of your actions, daily operations and processes, how you will market your product or service. These are constant questions you will deal with while planning. And here's the paradox with planning. Most of your plan will probably not go exactly as you imagined. Rarely do things happen exactly the way we plan. You may decide you will work one way, but once you start, you will face problems you never anticipated. To cope, you will have to tweak and adjust your plan, sometimes drastically. Think about your own life. How often do things go exactly as planned? Rarely, right? But that's okay. You still need a plan because it acts as a navigation tool guiding you even as you adjust it along the way. So make a plan, write down the chronology of the work you need to do after starting up and follow it, and changing it as it needed while you move forward. That's exactly how it's supposed to work. The next thing is budget, and it's one of the most important and personal aspects of starting a startup. Your budget decides the way you run your business. For example, your office could be in a lavish business park, a co-working space, or even an apartment. It all depends on your budget. Budget affects many other decisions too. For every entrepreneur, it will be different. You need to figure out how much money or capital you have, how much money you need to start your startup, and how much you will need to keep it running until it becomes profitable. If your startup requires more money than you currently have, you also need a plan to bring in funds. Where will the money come from? Will you take a loan or raise funding in exchange for equity? Each option has its pros and cons, and it's crucial to think about this thoroughly before moving forward. Now, the next thing after finalizing your budget is execution, the most important part. Whatever research you have done, the plan you made, and the budgeting you and your team figured out, all of it comes together in the execution stage. This is where the real show begins. You need to keep your enthusiasm high and show up every day to do what you have decided. In the beginning, chances are you will have to do the majority of things by yourself. You might even have to learn new peripheral skills that are not the core of your product but are necessary for your business. For example, basic sales skill, basic social media marketing, maybe basic graphic design, and light technical knowledge. These skills will depend on the nature of your startup. Keep in mind, many times you will feel lonely and think it's over. But that loneliness has a purpose. It's there to make you stronger, wear it like armor. Many times things will not go according to plan, sometimes in ways you never imagined. In those moments, you need to believe in yourself that somehow you will get through it. Remember, no problem is too big to solve with some calm and rational thinking. And here's the most important quality for any startup: persistence. Yes, it sounds cliche, but it's true. Nothing can beat persistence. Persist long enough and you will succeed. There's a wonderful line from the movie The Founder based on McDonald's story. It's my favorite. Persistence. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent won't. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius won't. Unrewarded genius is practically a cliche. Education won't. The world is full of educated fools. Persistence and determination alone are all powerful. So now go ahead and give life to your ideas. All the best.